Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, LinkedIn. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, the world. Coming up on today's show, we have the incredible Mr. Logan Blackburn. Is it? It's Rogan Marketing. What the all means of that. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, mate. How are you?
Very well. I feel like I haven't seen you for about 3 months.
You haven't seen about 3 months. But hey, how good news is it that the Gritty Business Show is back on form?
Gritty Business Show is back. So if you're out there, welcome for dialing in. And if you've got any comments, I want to ask a question today, want to get involved in the Gritty Business Show, come and say hi. We'll put some details down in the chat of how you can get involved in the Gritty Business Show. Just want to say a big hello to Seb Chivers, who's out there. Hello, Seb. Good to see you.
Seb. Good to see you.
Hope you're keeping well. So it's been a while, hasn't it?
He's streaming us on 3 platforms, Andy.
Yeah, it's 3 platforms.
That's what we like to see.
Yeah, it's technology for you. But anyway, for those who haven't watched the Gritty Business Show, it's a weekly live video cast or podcast, whatever we want to call it, show. Each week we get a couple of guests on. We talk about all the things that are gritty and that matter in business. But it's always light-humoured and it's always good fun. And so if you have any questions, please do pop them in the comments. We're here to assist. You can get involved with the Gritty Business Show. And like I say, I'll put those details up in the chat. But I think first of all, Ed, it might be time to welcome new members. We haven't been here for a while.
We've got a lot of new members to welcome.
Got a lot of new members, but I'm just going to roll through this as quickly as I can with the time I've got for the video. So let's hit this button and see how we get on. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, so I would like to welcome Andrew Val. Fantastic to have you on board. Leanne Gill, Lamara Craythorne, Robert Johnson, James McCormish, Anna Shaw, Naomi Johnston, James Kemp, Lewis Gray, Lauren Notin, Andrew McEwen, Mike Sharp, Simon Caseborn, and Yvonne Reed.
Welcome, guys. Welcome. Can we get involved? Let's get you some business.
Absolutely. We'll see if we can get some of these new members onto the club, and that's what it's all about. So if you haven't seen the Cobra Club before, www.thecobraclub.co.uk. It's a daily business hub where we all come and do business, network, and generally have a good time online throughout the day. So
open 10 to 5, Monday to Friday. Network meetings galore.
Absolutely.
It is the most cost-effective form of marketing that exists.
Yes. So there's plenty going on in the club at the moment. And one of the things I just want to quickly highlight before we get our guest in is a property event which we run every month. The next one is up on the 21st of October. So if you're into property construction, anything like that, come along to our Property Connect event. And here we go. How awesome is that? Great guitar there.
I tell you what, incredibly good moment in time to be looking at these things. The property world is in turmoil, as we currently know. So there's a huge amount of help and advice, not just on sort of buying properties and building property portfolios, but in redeveloping properties and reinvesting into your property and adding value to your property, etc. Which there's lots of businesses involved with, and lots of people who benefit you and help you. And I think right now we all need to be looking at, maximising the value of our homes and the potential that's there. So it's a really exciting opportunity, guys, to come get involved.
Yeah, well said.
There are a few comments in the comment thing.
Yes,
just before we
I
get
want to shout out just quickly two of the best SEO experts in the country, Mr. Graham Bayliss from Serendipity, and Mr. Andy Poulton. Good to see you, Andy. Andy's local in Royal Wootton Bassett. And good to see you guys here live on the show. Seb's loving the video.
Sorry about the body, Andy.
Hey.
Andy Poulton is just put in, dear God, that woke me up. Reaching the volume.
Well, that's what we like. It's a fresh injection. It's Friday morning, and hopefully we're on the wind down, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so keep it coming, guys. What we're going to do after the short video clip, we are going to have the man himself, Mr. Logan Blackburn. Is it in the room?
By the way, Louise Montblanc has also come. She's private chatted as opposed to public chatted. Good to see you, Ed, and good to see you too, Louise.
Yes.
Louise is one of the most inspirational leaders that we have. She's someone who can really help you to focus and understand your business, and to maximise the potential within it. So she does a meeting every Friday morning at 8 o'clock, which is well worth visiting. So
yeah,
come
on here, Ed. There it is. First thing Friday.
First thing Friday. It really is first thing Friday.
8 o'clock this morning, 8 till 9. So well done.
On the screen, Andy, just so you know.
Right. So Ed, what I'm going to do is play a short video clip, and when we come back, Mr. Logan will be in the room. So hold on to your hats, everyone. Turn that volume up.
I love our music.
Hello, Logan.
Hello, Andy. Hello, Ed. Morning,
Hey.
guys. How you doing? Yeah, I'm good. Glad it's Friday.
Oh,
Fantastic. So, Logan, I'm going to talk about quite a few things today. But, you're a marketing guru, so I think we've got a good person in the house. So the first question I want to ask, and by the way, if anyone out there has a question for Logan, please do pop it in the comments. If you've got any burning questions, please do let us know. So, Logan, what makes a good campaign or a marketing strategy? What are the key things we should be doing?
Okay, it's a great question. Like all marketers, I'm going to give a really annoying answer and say it depends. Unfortunately, you can't just pluck a marketing strategy off the shelf, out of the box, and apply it to your business and expect it to work. Marketing is very specific to your business because it's specific to your audience. Who buys off you is what drives your marketing strategy. And that's not who you want to buy off you. That is who is going to buy your stuff, who's going to buy your services, who's going to buy your products, and who hopefully is going to come back to buy a second, third, fourth, and fifth time. This is the core of any marketing strategy, and it is the first place that you should start, which is with your audience research. The easiest way,
maybe rephrase it in a different way. What are the common mistakes you see in small business? What are the things you keep coming up against?
There's two. One is just creating content with no strategy behind it. Chucking an image out there, just feeling this pressure to fill social media channels or write a blog or send an email out that has no purpose, doesn't get read, doesn't get engaged with, and ultimately stresses out the business owner and doesn't engage the audience. That's the most common one, and the easiest way to kind of avoid that is to do a review of what's actually working, what's not working, and to start with your audience. Your audience research is the cornerstone, and there's some really easy ways to do that. There's about 200 different marketing tech apps that will gather data from all over the internet for you if you want to pay for that sort of thing. Or, you can jump onto LinkedIn and have a look through posts. You can search by posts. So you can get a keyword. Say you're doing, I don't know, you're selling soaps. So you can go onto LinkedIn and look at the word soaps and look at the last posts, most recent by geographic location, and see what people are saying about soaps. It's a really easy way to see where your audience is engaging and what they're talking about. You can do the same thing with Facebook groups. It's all searchable data, and looking at the conversations and what's happening there is the best way to avoid that stagnation of content at a later date.
It's interesting because Andy and I come across, obviously, with the Cobra Club, lots of people who are starting businesses or running businesses, and often they in my head, and I'm sure this is sort of what you're saying, they're looking at their business the wrong way around. So they're trying to put a marketing campaign in place without actually understanding who they'd like to speak to. So one of the common things that I get is, I see people, but I can't convert them, or they're not interested in what I'm saying. Yeah. And the natural response from a marketeer is, so why are you speaking to people who are not interested in what you're saying? What you want to be doing is speaking to people who are interested in what you're saying. So if you have an avatar, if you like, or a description of who you would like to speak to, it's far easier to put a marketing strategy directed directly at them and giving them solutions to what they want, because then they'll come and talk to you.
Absolutely, Ed. I mean, you've got two factors. One is talking to your market segments. Talk to a person. My business appeals to everybody. Anybody can buy my products. It means that you appeal to nobody, and nobody's going to buy your products. Yeah. It doesn't work. But we spoke about this yesterday. Run the marketing drop-in the Cobra Club once a month, and we had somebody in who had a print-on-demand Shopify store. Great idea. Plenty of people do that, and they weren't getting any traction. We had two issues going on. One was that the presentation of the products was so wide that people would just skim past it. So the advice I gave was to pinpoint, pick 2 or 3 products, pinpoint who they're for, and write marketing copy, write posts that talk to those people. If it's grandparents buying for grandchildren, talk to those people. If it's parents buying for babies, talk to those people. Not about the product, but about the benefit to the person who's going to be buying. This will solve your Christmas shopping list problems. This is the best thing for your baby's skin. These are the things that you want to be talking about. Is what are the benefits? What is the transformation that the person's going to get after they've purchased your something. The other side of it is in numbers. If you're putting out 1 post a week and expecting 50 sales, it's just not going to work. If you've got an email list that you're not emailing and you're not growing, or you're not actually creating any content at all, and you're not out marketing and you're not pushing your business, then the chances are people aren't going to know who you are, so they're not going to have the opportunity to buy from you.
Yes. Yeah. So we often, it's the same the other way around when people come and say, I need some help with my business. And it's an interesting conversation, because I often have conversations that start with, well, don't tell me the negatives. Who would you like to sell to? Yeah. Who is your ideal customer? And let's talk to them. And it's this sort of attitude that, well, anybody can buy my business. They probably can, but people don't buy that. So a good example would be something like a beauty salon. A beauty salon may have 1,000 different or 100 different products that it sells and different services that it offers. But people don't go looking for a beauty salon. They go for looking for the different products that a beauty salon, or different solutions that a beauty salon can give. And you can use that for any business. So start with a product that you do within your range, or a service that you do. Talk to those customers who are actually right for that. And that's where having a proper business strategy, because that's a niche marketing campaign coupled with a really effective marketing strategy, and it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be money at all. You can write it on the back of a paper cup if you want to, but together they work. And I think people have this vision that marketing is brand, and we have to understand, certainly in the SME marketplace, and the SME goes up to sort of 50, 100 employees if you wanted to. So we're never going to get brand definition across every single person in the UK. We're not Mars, we're not Nike, we're not Porsche. So they spend money on brand. We need to be spending money on talking to customers about what we do. Brand will come from that, because once they understand what you do and they want to talk to you, then they can see the brand and a really good website. So Andy and I will come across people who will spend, £5,000 or £10,000 before they've even got one customer on getting a brand right that looks really good. And yeah, it does, but no one's looking for your brand because they don't know who you are. So you need to be speaking to your customers, and actually you don't need to have a fantastic website and all the other clicky and good things. What you need is customers. That generates revenue, and revenue you can then spend into your business. So they're sort of looking at it the wrong way around. I don't know if you come across that.
Absolutely. It's. I think there's a misnomer that to be online and in business, you have to have this branded website presence, which it helps. And eventually every business gets there. But the first thing you need is a route to buy. So some people call it a funnel. I don't particularly like that term, because a funnel implies hard edges, and I've never seen a marketing funnel ever with hard edges. People jump out there front and center. But yeah, it's a route that your customer can go from not knowing who you are to knowing who you are, to wanting your product, to buying your product, to then raving about your product to the people that they know. There's the other side as well, which is the B2B space. If you're selling trainers, there's usually a very clear market. You can there's a tangible product. When you're selling services, and you're selling services in the B2B space, another route to market is this networking that we do here, which is not about going out and looking for customers. It's about making yourself known within a business community and having referrals. So people know that when they come across a client who, maybe needs some help with the marketing, they can say, do you know what, Logan might be able to help you with that. They need some technical back end stuff doing. They know someone who does that, not because they've ever bought off them, but because they sat in a network meeting and they heard about the things that they can do.
I suppose fundamentally people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. I mean, that's ultimately. So if you spend some time with people, I'm far more likely to give business to people that I know than people that I don't. So the opportunity of networking allows that to.
Yeah,
I think that's why they call it network marketing. I mean, it's a different form of marketing, isn't it?
And very cost effective.
Yeah,
some of the Cable Club cost pennies really per day to.
So you recently, Logan, I think yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? You did a marketing workshop, didn't you? So let's pull that up a second, and you maybe can talk about sort of challenges that sort of people had, what the experience was like, and who are the sorts of people that were sort of looking for help. If I can find this little screen, there it is.
Okay, so basically this is a little bit different to the networking groups that run at the Cable Club. This is a drop-in clinic. The idea is that people come along with their marketing challenges, and I will help them solve their particular issues. Yesterday, one of the interesting questions was how to break into a closed local community. A lot of external advertising had been done, a lot of different things have been tried, and the suggestion I had was to target essentially an influencer, a local person who is going to go, okay, do you know what, this group, we've got the green light on them, I like them, they're not just outsiders coming in to tell us how to do things in our local space. Without that breaking down the barriers, I think you'd end up spending a lot of money on getting through to that advertising, but actually targeting a single person to then use their voice, their influence in a local community to kind of green light the group, that seems to be the way forward. but it was an interesting session. You know, you sort of turn up and people have all sorts of different issues going on. And the bit that I most loved was that everybody in the room was helping. You know, and there were some really good suggestions coming out. And this is the other power of getting together in a group, is that you've got intelligent business owners here who, you know, they've all run into their own challenges and all solved some of their own challenges. And when you get a group of people together powerhousing on your particular issue, you can get some really, really great information.
So if I were to come along to Logan, I mean, I presume in the first instance you'd have a chat with somebody, it's sort of cost-free, just to sort of talk and find out where they are and what they're doing.
Yeah.
But typically, because I think some people just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So do something rather than nothing, which isn't a bad thing, but it doesn't necessarily. So they're working very hard, doing things that aren't maybe making them money. So talk me through how you would take through his business.
So the first thing I do, you're right, is absolutely have a chat. I ask people where they're at, where they want to be, and what they're doing to get there. One of my favorite things to do, which sounds a bit strange, is to be able to tell people that they can stop doing something, because you get a lot of sheer relief of, I don't have to do that. No. You know, there's this fear that marketing, first of all, is going to be very, very expensive. You know, as soon as you talk to a marketer, they're going to say, right, you need this, and you need this, and you need this, and this, and this, and this. And if you don't have all of it, none of it's going to work. And it all becomes big and scary and very expensive. Whereas actually, there are some very simple strategies. I like to help business owners to help themselves if that's what they want. If they're not looking to buy, there's plenty of information I can give that doesn't cost me anything more than a bit of time. Thanks, Graham. To help them get to their goals, because ultimately, if I can help them at that stage, the chances are that when they do want to buy marketing services, it's going to be me that they come back to. So it's not completely altruistic, but there is the element of it. And the reason that I call myself the green marketer, and one of the reasons that I call myself that is because I believe in sustainable and ethical businesses, and I like to do business mostly with them, but also it bleeds into my marketing style, which is that I encourage businesses to build a rapport with their audience that is away from paid marketing. Paid marketing has its place and it can be very useful, but if you are solely relying on paid adverts, either on Google or Bing or Facebook or TikTok to get customers, you've always got that payoff. And if the algorithm changes very quickly, you can find your traffic drying up.
It's an interesting sort of like thing about businesses is the fact that most business owners would say to you, I want to be spending time with my customers because that's where I make money. But they spend most of their time not with their customers, doing things they think they should be doing or could be doing, and maybe aren't being very effective. Time isn't a resource that you can get back. So if I spend a month not producing anything and not speaking to customers, I can't get that back. Money actually is a renewable resource. You know, you can earn more money. So you need to have a plan that makes your time as effective as it can possibly be, and that's, I think, what your marketing strategies enable people to do, which is to then spend the time doing things that actually potentially generate them money, whereas spending the time doing the other stuff that they're doing actually isn't earning any money. And fundamentally, the biggest reason that Andrew and I probably see that people's businesses don't succeed is they don't have the money to make them succeed. So you know, and that's where a really cost-effective, both in time and in money strategy, means that you can free yourself up to actually be productive and produce a revenue stream for your business. And I think people miss that slightly. I think I heard it once described as, you know, all of the component parts of your business. Marketing is the engine at the middle of it. So if you haven't got an engine in your car, you can have a beautiful car, but it's not going to take you anywhere. But if you have an engine, you can get from A to B in I'm going to say rude names of cars, so I mustn't. It's just a 1950s Lada, but you can get from A to B. So you want to be going from A to B. You can upgrade a car, but that money, once it's gone, it's gone. So what we encourage people to do is, as cost effectively, look at what you're doing, spend some time with some experts to actually have a plan, because most people starting businesses, I'm sure Andy and I, Andy, you, from your management consult, they don't actually have a plan. They have a product that's great. They have an idea which is fantastic. They have component parts, but they haven't actually put that together as a plan. And the engine that drives that is what you're talking about, Logan, is having that understanding of your customer, a goal to do. And if it doesn't work, a way of changing it so that it does work. Failure isn't the problem with marketing. Doing nothing about it is the problem.
Definitely.
Very good.
I couldn't agree.
What we're going to do, because time is upon us, guys, we're going to recap and we're going to ask Logan what his 3 top tips, what are takeaways for today.
Okay, 3 top tips. I was only prepared with 1. Okay, so
1 top tip. That's fine. 1 top tip.
It's fine. I can do 3. Okay, first top tip is in marketing, measure. Everything you do, you need to measure it. Otherwise, you don't know whether or not it's working. Every platform, social media, email, Google has measurement, has analytics. It will do it for you. You just need to ask it the questions. The second top tip is if you're on Facebook, Facebook has just announced that they are going to be prioritizing Reels. So short form video is massively in. It's responsible for more than 50% of the engagement on Instagram. So it's something that you want to consider in your content strategy moving forward from today. And third top tip is there are thousands of marketing tech softwares out there. If you are doing a task on repeat, especially one you don't enjoy, have a look at what's available, because I guarantee there will be a bit of tech that will probably have a freemium or a very low cost model that will help you save your time.
Fantastic. Thank you, Logan. That's awesome.
And before you disappear from that real argument, is TikTok a good platform for businesses, or is it just
TikTok is an amazing space to be. I was reading an article the other day, and there's something like 250 YouTube channels for every TikTok channel. So in terms of competition, the landscape is very scarce. So if you can get in there, my biggest tip with TikTok is whatever you watch is what TikTok thinks you are. So if you sit watching cat videos all day on TikTok, TikTok thinks you're a cat. If you are me, for example, I watch marketing videos and I only watch marketing videos, which means TikTok thinks that I'm into marketing. It's got a very, very clever algorithm. It takes about an hour to train it, but it's worth sitting and using keywords to program in what you want to see, which is what you want to show, and watching those videos intentionally.
And you can help people with that sort of like basic strategy and how to do that, etc.
Yeah. And you know, this is the sort of thing. If you want to drop into marketing, drop in next month, or if you want to grab me, I'm listed in the club. I'm more than happy to talk to people and help them out.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Logan. It's been great to have you on board today, and welcome, to the group.
Just goes too quickly with you.
Yeah. But let's get you on again sometime.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks to everyone who's asked those questions out there. We'll see you again soon, Logan.
Bye.
Just brilliant.
Yeah, really good.
Very, very good guy.
Very good.
And I didn't really get to say it, but we use Logan and have found him profitable and very effective for the business. Without, and those people who are worried about cost, incredibly good value. And in fact, a lot of what Logan does, bless him, he does for free. He's a very, very useful man to know. And I'd like to say thank you, really.
Yeah, no, thank you, Logan. Highly recommend Logan and his expertise. But there's one burning question I want to ask you, Ed, and it goes something like this.
Words of wisdom.
What are your words of wisdom for the first time back on the Gritty Business Show, Ed?
Well, today I'm going to talk about niche, which is what Logan sort of touched on, really, but I'm going to echo it because I think it's worth echoing. understand your customers, know the customers that you would like to speak to. So in an ideal world, who would you like to speak to? And so if I had our next guest on here, she might describe the exact customer who would be perfect for her when she comes on. I'm sure she will, and target that customer in your marketing. So it sounds too obvious, but it really is. If people, the internet's full of stuff, and the net and social media, etc., and most of it is nice stuff that makes you feel good and is of interest. What stops and makes you read? It's nearly always something that's relevant to you. So if your marketing is relevant to your customer base, if your message is relevant to your customer base, they'll stop and read it. And that's what you want to do. So don't waste time and energy and money not talking to your customers, because that doesn't make any business sense. Spend time and money talking to the people that you want to talk to and have the customers that you want, who will then buy your product. That's what I would say.
Yeah, brilliant. Very wise words. So now what we're going to do when we come back, I'm just going to play a quick VT. When we come back, we're going to have the incredible Louise Monblatt in the room. And the VT I'm going to play is about a little feature on the Code Club. It's called The Circle, which is like an online sort of portal for business and brands where we can all communicate, not through the power of video, but through the power of writing. So that's something we have. I'm just going to play that. And when we come back in the room, Louise Monblatt will be here with us. Here she is.
Good morning.
You are hot topic at present.
Absolutely.
You're like right up there. You should be in people's top of
Always
mind.
introduce Louise as the energy expert, because energy is her number one passion. And Louise, what's currently going on in the energy market? Are we going to have blackouts this year?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a worrying time, isn't it?
Before I talk about that, can I just touch on the circle? So you mentioned the circle. So there is my latest post, which I did this morning about this morning's meeting that I ran, and here is that book that I've referenced here.
Brilliant.
So, and before I talk about what I do, can I also mention some kind of refer to what your conversation was with Logan? We all know a very well-known hamburger place, and we also know a very, very well-known sofa place, but they advertise a lot. And one day you think, I could just do with that hamburger or that sofa, but you'll see them on telly, they advertise a lot. And I think in terms of networking, people forget that you need to just keep plugging. And it sounds like nothing is happening, or it feels like it's a bit sludgy, but it is happening. But it's just grabbing that moment when somebody says, I fancy that hamburger, or I'm ready for that new sofa. So it's the same, but most people miss it because they expect instant results. And we don't do instant results. People like to think, and they and ah. And I think they can't sometimes put their finger on what it is. But you just need to be seen, and I think Logan mentioned it as well. You need to be regular.
Yeah, but you can be analytic.
Really important.
So if you look at any of those big companies, they target their marketing to go out at specific times and for specific reasons, because they understand their customers. So if you go on the telly at around about 6, 7 o'clock, guess what? You're going to see a lot of Just Eat adverts. Let's use brands, because that's when people are hungry and they're thinking about it. There's no point putting that on maybe at 12 o'clock for the people who have munchies and all the rest of it, because they don't want to be done through the day. But they target their marketing. They look at those results back. It's not by chance that they're there. And they're spending money because they understand the results they're going to get. So any
Yeah.
marketing or energy that you do should be spending fivers to produce tenors. It's money spent knowing the result you're going to get, and that's what having a proper plan from someone like Logan can achieve, and people like you and I can take huge advantage of. Spot on, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
But most people miss it because
I
they
think-
do
I think
think, put the money in. And actually, I would suggest that it's an investment, not an expense. You know, if you know that it's just part of your regular, it's just part of your business, just as the time. If you know, it's just, you know, I would never just not turn up to my meeting. It's just part of my week.
Absolutely.
And then it just gets regularly in. It's just part of, you know, my routine. Rather than looking at it as an over and above, it's just part of your business.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, talking about your routine, Louise, I know we showed it earlier, but let's show it again. Talk about very quickly about your little event that you do on a Friday morning.
Yeah.
There it is. First thing
That
Friday,
is
fish and chips on the beach.
Friday. Yeah. So that is a picture of my hometown, or a part of it. That is the Cobb at Lyme Regis, which is where I live.
Oh, lucky you.
Brilliant.
It is a really, really wonderful spot. Yeah.
Very good. And you enjoy doing the event. I mean, you're obviously consistent with network marketing, and that's obviously how you've grown your business.
Definitely. Yeah. So I've been running First Thing Friday for nearly 2 years now.
Wow.
And I have my regulars, and then I have my people who might drop in and out. And this is this week's book, so I always share a good read. And this was actually sent to me by one of my regular attenders, Lynn Henderson, fabulous lady. And it's a really, really great book. Definitely recommend it. The Dream.
Skin by Lynn. Skin by Lynn.
Skin by Lynn. That's the one.
Amazing.
That's the one. Oh, Graham, I want a hamburger now. Yeah, that's advertising.
Ham advertising. So, obviously, network marketer extraordinaire, you help businesses out and everything else. But one of your other business, obviously being the energy expert, go back to that first question. Are the lights going to turn off this year?
Okay, so it's a really good question, and I think they won't. So what's happened recently is Liz Truss, she stepped in as Prime Minister, and she basically said that the energy cap was going to go up here to kind of $3,500 per average household, and she's reduced that cap to $2,500. It's still a lot of money. It's still about double what everyone was paying last year, but it will probably mean that you can eat and heat, whereas there was a question about whether it was going to be one or the other. So it's not going to be as terrible. We're all going to pay for it ultimately, because she's just borrowed 150 billion to make this possible. So it's not free. It just means that for an individual household, it's not going to be as terrible. So it's a long answer to a short question.
Yeah, I think it's
Unpleasant.
You know, obviously they've thrown into the mix now sort of with interest rates and everything else. So, you know, where it used to be a two-pronged thing, you know, now it's a three-pronged, and I think there's a lot of worry out there, isn't there?
And I think for good reason. So actually the interest rates are going to go up, and I could go into why that is. It's just going to be a very, very rocky ride for an awful lot of people financially.
Something I don't understand is the price of petrol at the petrol pumps is actually coming down, as far as I can see. So right now, my local petrol station in Lockridge in Wiltshire is, and I have diesel in my car for my sins, is £1.79. It was nearly £2, so that's fallen down. Why the energy? If they can get petrol down, why isn't energy coming down? Okay,
so we have a war on, whether you want to call it a war or not. Ukraine is happening, and even if you only have electricity at home, you will rely on the gas to drive the power stations that generate your electricity.
It's the gas that's the problem, not necessarily the oil.
Yeah.
Or more of the problem.
So there's a gas shortage. We've just had all-time high gas prices, and that affects the electricity. And then in terms of renewables, there's been a lot less wind. There's been a drought. So some renewables are created with water. If the water's not there, then guess what? There's going to be less electricity generated, and so there's been a whole series of processes that have happened that all drive that energy rate.
When they say that,
go on, sorry.
When they say that, there hasn't been any wind, and a lot of these things are out, these turbines are out on sort of sea. I can't quite believe there's no wind out there.
Yeah, there's definitely been less this last year, and there was actually less last year, this year and last year.
That's really
So it's the cumulative effect of less wind, less water, and the much, much, much higher cost of gas. I mean, electricity's gone up as well. I mean, even before Ukraine, there was a fire. So we import some of our electricity from France. And there was a fire. I can't remember now whether it was on this side or on the French side, but that actually meant that electricity rates shot up as well. And that was probably about a year ago now. So there's been a whole series of things. And then when we had lockdown and there was a lot less energy being produced, it meant that the infrastructure didn't have the income, the normal regular income to do the servicing that was required. And so they have now been, when I say they, people like National Grid have now had to do some, they're behind the times in their regular routine work, which is why all our standing charges have gone up to offset that cost. And then the last thing, unpleasant as it is, all those companies that went bust, if you thought, great, I've got this fantastic, really, really cheap deal with a smaller company that is less well known and they've gone bust, we are all paying for that. We're all paying about 165 quid a year for those companies that went bust, because it has an impact. So it's a whole series of things that have accumulated into monster bills.
So if I were to, I think actually your business echoes what you do in your networking meeting. So your networking meeting is about business and about making connections and all those good things, but it's also about personally building yourself up and making yourself a more knowledgeable person, if that makes sense. Hence the books. And with your business, when people come and talk to you, there are different ways you can help somebody. 'Cause they obviously have financial concerns, and they also have energy concerns. Quite logically, that's why they'd speak to you. Talk me through how you typically help people.
Okay, so thanks for that, Ed. So I help people in two ways. I help people save money on bills, which is quite handy, especially now.
How do you do that?
How do I do that? So basically, I look at someone's bills and I'll say, right, we can save you some money on your energy with this. We can save you some money on your phone and broadband on that. We can save money on your home insurance. We can look at your shopping, so we can save you money on shopping. And the service I offer is entirely free. It's nationwide and it's free.
So you can come and see me. You can show me all ways that I can genuinely save money.
Yeah.
And then I could choose just not to use you and to go somewhere else without any obligation.
That's right. Yeah.
That's amazing. That is quite fantastic. So I think the upcoming storm that is going to be hitting us next year will be more redundancies and more people without jobs.
And actually, I can help protect people with that as well. So we have a thing called Bill Protector and there's Income Protector, so that if the worst happens, people will still have some money coming in.
That is quite fantastic.
It's definitely time to put money back in your pocket, isn't it? I mean, this is the time to
oh God,
yeah.
So
I think it's also time
not coming next year. It's here now.
The loyalty that people have to companies that are charging them too much money is a very English thing. I think now is the time to question that loyalty and just say, what are they? How are they rewarding me? If I'm with, and I'm going to use British Gas. British Gas, fantastic company. I'm not criticising British Gas, but if I'm with British Gas, and I have been for the last 30 years, how are they rewarding me now for my loyalty?
Well, actually, a lot of the bigger energy companies don't want your business at the moment.
Right.
So, in fact, I think one of them has been in trouble recently with Ofgem. So we've got the regulator Ofgem for energy, we've got Ofcom for communication, and the big companies, they're regulated by these organisations, and they can't turn business away, but they have. If you go onto the website,
That's because they only have so much to supply, I suppose.
No, that's not the reason.
No?
They don't want bad debt.
And they're worried that some of these customers are going to become toxic as such, bad debt.
Potentially, yeah.
Mm.
So, but the company the companies that you work for and help, they obviously are looking for customers, because that's why you're coming
Yeah,
to see.
always. Yeah,
Which
I never turn business away.
And out of 10 customers that you see, how many could you save money on their bills? Typically,
Probably 8 out of 10.
And like 10 quid a year, 15 quid a year. That's
no, it's a lot more than that. No, a lot more than that.
Okay.
We're talking. Okay, we've just introduced this thing called the £100 boost. So we save people money, and then there's a boost on top. So here's another £100 to spend in time for Christmas to say thank you for your loyalty.
And that's
Thank
just
you
such
for
a rare thing in any business. It
Mm.
should be that you look after your customers, but you just don't hear that anywhere else.
You do in what I do, yes.
It's quite fantastic.
So I have customers that can ring me and go, Louise, I've got a problem with whatever it is. And I'll say, right, okay, leave it with me. I'll sort it.
And interestingly, right now, again, property is really big in people's minds and worries and mortgages and all the rest of it. So if I'm looking to sell my property, there's another way that you can help as well, which I presume is bringing down my EPC rating, or bringing up my EPC rating of my property to make it more desirable. If I'm looking to be renting my property out to people, obviously a better EPC rating means that A, I can rent it out, and secondly, that I can command more rent. Is that something you can help with?
Do you mean in a domestic home or
Yeah.
No. Okay, so with the EPC is an energy performance certificate, and technically speaking, that isn't something I can help with other than potentially replacing the boiler or
The light bulb.
the light bulbs. We don't offer light bulbs anymore, Ed.
No, go away, shut up. But you can help with my boiler.
We did offer free LED light bulbs for, I think,
Yes.
6 years, but we've not been doing them for the last 3.
But you could help with my boiler.
Yes.
Okay, and that could significantly change my EPC rating if I update my boiler, etc.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
So the answer is yes, you can.
Now, Louise,
Yes.
obviously we've got Christmas coming up, and it's about time for us to start turning on our heating. So, you being the energy expert, I was going to ask you your top tips we should all be doing this year. I know how expensive it's going to get, but to reduce as much as possible in our homes our energy costs.
Okay, so
Hold
first,
on a moment.
Hold on. Oh, you hold on. You hold on, because Andy's going to press a button.
all right,
I got
okay.
the button. Here we
I'll
go.
wait.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so the best top tip I can give you is take a smart meter. Have a smart meter. They do 2 things. First of all, they do the meter readings for you, so that then you don't end up with either a large credit that sits with the energy company, or worse, a debt that you didn't anticipate, because most people don't get around to doing meter readings. So let the smart meter do it. But the other thing a smart meter does is it has a little display. It's about the size of a phone, and you can see what you're using daily. And the whole point about it is it's to encourage people to go, how much? I'll turn my heating down a little bit. Or, the old-fashioned way, put a jumper on.
And how much does it cost to have it changed?
Okay, with the smart meter, it's not free. Certainly the company I work with, we give people £50 to have a smart meter.
What, you give me £50 to put one in?
Yes, we do.
So it's the opposite of free.
Yes, it's the opposite of free. We give you £50. So we guarantee to save money on the energy. We give you £50 to have a smart meter, and then we give you £100 boost to say thank you for staying with us. So
That's amazing.
So smart meters did get quite a bad press.
Yeah.
Anyone that has one of these, a smartphone, any emissions, because this is what people's concerns were about smart meters, you get more emissions from this than you do from a smart meter. They're safe. The original smart meters that got rolled out weren't that smart. So if you change energy company, the meter won't work. So you need a new one. But with the new generation of smart meters, if you switch companies, the new company can still read the meter. So it's very clever. So that would be by far my top tip, and then get yourself 50 quid as well, which is a nice little bonus.
Thank you very much.
But also, please put some extra clothes on. Make sure that you're not barefoot. You lose, I think, 20% of your energy through your feet. So, just put a few more clothes on. Do what your mum and dad used to say.
Yeah.
And if you want to review what you're paying, then come and talk to me. There's no obligation. It costs nothing. I used to say it costs tea, but it doesn't even cost that, because I do the whole thing over the phone. I helped somebody yesterday who's just moved into a new house. I helped her. I helped somebody else on Wednesday, and her bills were quite large with a very, very well-known company. She could not believe the savings I was going to generate for her. It should be over £1,000.
Wow.
It's good. It's really good. And what does it cost her to do it?
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
I think you're doing a great job. Recommend anyone chatting with Louise. Details are down below.
Thank you.
Can I have one more question to Louise? Is that right?
Go on then quickly, because we're rapidly running out of time.
I'm a businessman, Louise. If I wanted to get in on what you're doing, could you help me to have a second income or actually a full-time income if I wanted it?
Yes. Now, a regular business, it might cost, I don't know, £4,000 or £5,000 to get started.
Yeah.
This business, it's £10. £10.
And you too can give those sort of savings to people.
Yeah, and then it's quite straightforward to earn a couple of grand before Christmas. We've got free Christmas dinner taken care of as well. It's good. I kind of play it down a bit, but it's completely transformed my life.
Yeah, and you are one of those people who keeps their talents under their, but hides. I mean, you have hundreds of people who work with you and support you.
I do.
And you earn a lot of money from helping people to make money and from saving people fortunes. It's a real win-win situation, isn't it?
It is, and it's very, very rewarding, not just financially, but emotionally.
Yeah,
and it's very satisfying. I'm going to go and see a lady this afternoon physically. She's only down the road from me, and I met up with her earlier in the week, and I think she and her husband are going to join the business. So
that's exciting. Really exciting.
Brilliant. Thank you, Louise. It's been a pleasure to have you on the show. We've only got 5 minutes left, so we're going to roll out into the events and stuff now. But thank you so much, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you. So,
bye, guys.
Bye. Okay, Ed, it's time. Hit your unmute button, mate.
I will. There you go. A Monday motivation. Come and join me Monday mornings at the Cobra Club between 9 and 10. Start your week as you mean to go on. Grow.
Fantastic. Then next up, one of the latest events, Believe and Achieve. It's a business wellbeing event hosted by Nicholas Holmes on Monday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Dream big, because what happens if it comes true?
And then the Coffee Collective, fantastic. Christy Norris and Hannah Madaretto have joined forces to provide one of the most inspirational meetings that we do.
Fantastic. Next up is Mr. Zafran Khan, 7 to 8 p.m. Monday Mayhem, Monday evening with Mr. Zafran Khan.
Oh. And then on a Tuesday morning, come along and join Quest West with the inspiration that is Judas West, weekly 10:30 to 11 o'clock at the Cobra Club.
Awesome. Next up, Mr. David McKenna. Tuesdays, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Lively Cobra Business Quiz. It's all about networking, but not always about in a networking kind of way. So come and get involved.
Yeah, and then if you want to get yourself organised, sorted, so you actually make things happen, come and join the Accountability Hub for Small Businesses with Elaine Atherton.
Fantastic. Next up, Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m, Mr. David Lockett, who helps to put money in your pocket with the Investment Lounge, teaching you all good things about investing.
And then the one that is Mr. Andrew Hatcher and Ed Williamson running Meeting Talents. Come along and grab a drink 7 till 9 on a Wednesday.
Fantastic. Next up, the lovely Yvonne Taylor, the missing piece of your jigsaw. That's Yvonne. Business networking event, 9 a.m to 10 a.m. every Thursday morning at the Cobra Club.
And then Kath Kirkland will get you networking with your business generator every Thursday, 12 till 1 at the Cobra Club.
Awesome. Next up, we have Mr. Chris Mason with the 300 Club, weekly business networking event every Thursday at 1 o'clock.
Followed by Umeta, the inspiration that's Louise Monblatt. First thing Friday, have your fish and chips on live Regis Beach to kick your week off. You can start your week with Monday motivation, finish it with First Thing Friday. Woo!
Fantastic. Then after that, you can head straight to Scotland on the Cobra Express. It's every Friday, 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m.
And then finish off the week with a glass of wine with the Loose Women on the Wine Down with Sharon Ritchie at Cobra Saltire.
Fantastic. And then we spoke about it before, 21st of October, the Property Club, a monthly event. So come along and get involved if you're into property or construction or even energy. One of the last things we do at the Cobra Club, we run every week a few of these mix-around events. So they're just random events where you can rock up, not hosted, perfect time just to meet everybody else in the club. So come and join us. But where do you join us, Ed?
We join us at www.thecobraclub.co.uk. And one of the things we're very fair, friendly, and what we like to do is to let people come and see us. So if you want to come along to one of our meetings, you've just seen a whole load of them, and there are more, come along. We'll let you come in for free. Come along and get some free networking. So, you know, we're very open, very friendly. It's not about the money, it's about the connections and doing business. This is a community of like-minded people. Come and get involved.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ed. So we're roughly running out of time. So I'm going to sort of say that next week we've got Warren Milburn. If anyone else wants to come on, there's a link down below in the chat where you can, and I'll put it back on LinkedIn as well. If you want to apply, come on the show. Fantastic. Or just email me, andrew@thecobraclub.co.uk. Or there's a link on our website, thecobraclub.co.uk. So awesome show, Ed. Great.
Awesome.
Thanks to the guests, to Logan and Louise.
Thank you, guys.
And thanks to everyone out there for all the comments and all the love you've shown. And we'll see you next week, folks. Over and out.
Over and out.
Now you're watching me, yeah, all eyes on me, 'cause I've been living the good life. So come fly with me into my fantasy, and we be loving the good life, good life.
I think this dream now just hit me. Why don't you just go there with me? Surf in the skies and splash in the clouds, dance in the crowds and laugh out loud. Holding your hand, unfolding a plan. Two souls in a land like gold in a pan. Float in the breeze or soak in the sea. Come go there with me where we both wanna be. Lie on the beach or fly in the streets. I'm trying to keep this vine in the reach. Putting everything I do aside, me and you are first. We can travel to the very end of the universe. You and me are meant to be divine energy. Living with no rules in a pool of serenity. Come be my fantasy, go away with me. Lock us up in the dream and throw away the keys. Come on, live this up now. Good life, good laugh, good love now. Come on, live this with me. Good laugh, good love, we live free. Come on, live this up now. Good life, good laugh, good love now. Come on, live this with me. Good laugh, good love, we live free. We need to rise with these new eyes. Pull the disguise off of these blue skies. Lights in the city reflect off the shoreline. When you're living this life, you want more time. Rewind the time, align planets. Ride this comet to a new dynamic. Your eyes on me, mine on you. Living the good life, we do what
Now
we
you're
want to.
watching me, yeah,